Welcome back, this is CerealSnax. Today I'm kind of doing a combo thing on my games right now. I'm actually playing Borderlands 2 and kind of doing a let's play as I talk and rant about other stuff. So what I'm doing actually in Borderlands 2 is I've got some quests to go out into the field, and one of them is to help Dr. Zed out, and this one is go to Dr. Mercy's lair. I'm going to go do that. I'm just driving around in my little pink bandit vehicle that I spawned. The other thing I want to talk about is just some stuff going on in the gaming world and some stuff going on my channel and that sort of thing. I know, one of my videos, Final Fantasy VII, is doing really, really well, and it's it's funny because all it is a quick review of Final Fantasy VII and the re-release that they had, the Square Enix had. It's a $10 game, and they really didn't redo a whole lot of stuff. They just made it so that the game worked on the Windows 7, and I know a lot of people say, oh, it works fine on Windows 7, the old version, once you mod it up with 1,000 patches. And of course, the pirated version works perfectly on Windows 7 because it's already been patched up. So a lot of people have those complaints. What I wanted to address was, I get a lot of comments on there, and I've actually more or less stopped responding to them because it's funny how many people out there in the gaming community, and it's not like something I really care too much about, but it's funny how people get so serious about companies like Square Enix who, let's see, what am I doing here? Okay, so it looks like I've got a new quest here, so sorry, I'm in the middle of ranting and Scooter's giving me quests. Okay, well, anyway, I'm going to make sure his the volume's low in my post-production when I do it. But anyway, the point is that a lot of people feel, I think, entitled by these companies. So, there's a lot of people on that particular video, if you go to it in the comments, saying, basically cussing out Square Enix, saying that Square Enix sucks. It's we deserve a remake, blah blah blah, all this stuff. And one thing I wanted to mention is, I don't think we deserve really anything from Square Enix, and in many ways, we as consumers don't deserve anything from anybody. You get what you pay for. I think that Square Enix, if they want to make a remake of Final Fantasy VII, will be very popular, and it will get tons of money. But they obviously have decided that from a business perspective, that's not worth it. Now, the other people feel like, oh, we're being ripped off by having to pay $10 for a working version of Final Fantasy VII on Windows 7. My answer to that is, don't buy it. There's a lot of entitlement out there. People feeling like these companies like Square, they owe us as gamers and consumers something when they really don't. And I think another example of that is games like Borderlands 2, and we haven't seen it yet on Borderlands 2, but of course there's the season pass with Borderlands 2 that's $30, and you basically get all the expansions for free over the next year. And there's been people who have complained about past games that have actually charged for cosmetic skins or a hat in the game, right? Like Team Fortress 2 is well known for this. They sell basically hats in the game that you have to pay for and get, and a lot of times you can just unlock them, but a lot of the time you also have to pay actual cash to get these special hats, and you pay that cash through buying other games that they advertise on Steam or expansion packs for other games or whatever, and it unlocks these hats, and so you're basically paying for it more or less. What a lot of people say is, well, that's ridiculous. They should never be charging money for stuff like cosmetic gear or whatever. And again, I say, look, it's not giving you any benefit in the game. Like, none of the hats in Team Fortress 2 will give you a benefit beyond anything that's worthwhile. And you're not entitled to have that hat. If you want to spend the money, spend the money. One thing that I think is funny is that the market has dictated that these DLCs and these hats and these skins that people pay money for actually are a good business decision for these companies. I believe that Valve has made a ton of money on Team Fortress 2, even though they're now offering the game for free. They continue to rake in probably record profits on that thing simply because of the hat sales, and as ridiculous as that sounds. So I think the people that complain online about that sort of thing are missing the fact that the market dictates that is okay. Most consumers, and maybe it's a bad reflection on us as consumers that we are terrible. I have never bought a hat in Team Fortress 2. I've never bought a cosmetic skin. I played Super Monday Night Combat, and I think at most I spent $5 to unlock some of the classes, but it was a free game to begin with, so the $5 didn't feel like it was a huge dent, and I felt like I was getting a little bit of value for my money, and maybe I was encouraging, that company to keep charging for stuff. Now, I will say that they had other classes that you could buy in the game that were upwards of $10, and I would never buy them. For example, Artemis, I think, in the game was a $10 class, and I just didn't see the value in paying $10 for a class that I probably could unlock someday if I played the game long enough. So I guess that's kind of my rant about gamer entitlement. I think that, some gamers out there feel entitled by that, and feel like game companies somehow owe them something. But, more than ever, in my gaming history, since I started doing gaming a lot, and I guess considered myself a gamer, I've never felt like there's been this much free stuff out on the market. I'm overwhelmed right now with games that have free stuff. We've got Super Monday Night Combat, free. Lord of the Rings Online, which is free to play, and if you've ever played Lord of the Rings Online, you'll find that you really don't have to spend any money ever in that game to really get hours and hours and hours of enjoyment out of it. It's one of the few MMOs that really has a great free-to-play model. And there's a lot of free-to-play games out there. I'm amazed how many games that I've not only gotten free-to-play or gotten for like $1 or $2 that have provided me with hours upon hours of entertainment. Binding of Isaac's a great one. A lot of these indie companies coming out with games have these amazing games that they're charging, max $5 for, and you just get all kinds of stuff. So these complaints out there by gamers of, companies trying to rip people off with DLCs, I think it's unfounded mostly, at least in my own opinion. And this is all my opinion, obviously, so don't take it with a grain of salt. Here I'm looking at my assassin tree. I don't know I guess I'm just going to go with that one. I haven't gotten too far in my assassin character yet, but I really am loving this sniper rifle because I feel like it's like one shot, one kill for a lot of these creatures, except for the alpha skags, of course. But this quest right now, I'm just kind of not even really I'm only half paying attention to it. I guess I'm collecting stuff for this Steam generator. I haven't even been really listening to it because I've been ranting. So I guess my next thing, it takes me to my next kind of topic that I wanted to talk about, and that was gamers in general and people that call themselves gamers. Another thing I was reading was, and actually it was in Guild Wars 2, people, and of course Guild Wars 2 chat, it's like being in Baron's chat in World of Warcraft, but people were talking about how they as gamers were prejudiced against while they were in school, and I'd really like to meet those people because never once was I prejudiced against in school for being a gamer. I think I was prejudiced against more for other things like belonging to the chess club than I was for being a gamer, and maybe belonging to the chess club was being a gamer, but I don't think so. People got made fun of for being in band or being in drama. They never got made fun of for being a video gamer. In fact, some of the, kids that were considered to be the cool kids in school were the ones who would bring like their brand new Game Boy to school, and everybody wanted to see it, and everybody wanted to be their friend so they could play their Game Boy. So I don't know where these people lived that they were prejudiced for being gamers, but man, it certainly hadn't happened in my lifetime. I was prejudiced against for other things, for doing well in school, for example, and I think being different in high school or being different in any school, you're gonna experience a little bit of animosity because people don't like difference, and that's unfortunately the way we are as people. Unfortunately, people are gonna reject that which is different from them, and it's something you have to deal with if you're gonna be different. So. But I don't think being a gamer is that. Maybe I'm too old to experience that kind of stuff because when I was a kid, we used to line up at the arcade to play Street Fighter 2 on the, we used to put coins and all kinds of stuff on the thing to play. And so it was more of a cool thing to actually play video games, not the other way around. So that brings me to the other point that that these jocks, I guess, quote unquote, right, who play Madden 2013 or 2012 or whatever the game is right now, the sports game out there, considered themselves gamers, and that was the only game they played. And people were mad that those people considered themselves gamers, but to that I say, let anybody who wants to call themselves a gamer call themselves a gamer. We're not that elite of a community that we can't allow that. I'm glad that so many people consider themselves to be gamers. When I was a kid, the first game that I played when it came out, this is 1987, my dad brought home a computer, and I played King's Quest 3. So I guess that does kind of date me to some extent. I think I was 7 years old. But the point is that that was the only game that was out at the time, and I felt weird because I was the only kid on my block that had a computer, and I loved to spend hours on that game, King's Quest 3, just trying to figure out how to beat it. I played Zork and all kinds of crazy games that nowadays, there were only maybe at the time 3 or 4 games that were out, and King's Quest 3 was the only one that had more than 16 colors. So back then it was like rare to be a gamer. Nowadays everybody is involved in it in some way, shape, or form, whether it's on their mobile devices or otherwise. So I say bring it on. I saw an article that said that Look at this badass bully mong. He is badass. Set him on fire. Okay. Yeah. My mind focuses on the game sometimes and focuses on ranting. But you know, now they're... I lost my train of thought. So being a gamer is like, it's great. I'm so glad that everybody's getting involved in it in one way, shape, or form. You know, like, you know, my mom has played Plants vs. Zombies on the iPad. I mean, that's unheard of that she would pick up a video game, and I just like that she can experience something that I experienced and had a real hard time getting my parents to really be interested in that. And now it's so accessible, it's easy for them to kind of enjoy that as well, to some extent, you know. Okay, so this guy's doing his silly spiel about fixing this steam pump, which I'm gonna do. Let's fix this up here. And I guess I gotta climb up here and do the other two. So Borderlands 2 is just, it's taking a lot of my time. I'm really enjoying every minute of it. And I think that, you know, like I was saying about being a gamer, you know, the article that I was reading was saying that the Rose Bowl, the most recent Rose Bowl, was watched by fewer people between the ages of 18 to 24 than watched MLG. And if you're not familiar with MLG, it's the esports championships, basically. And they you know, it's not like a championship like football, but they have events every once in a while. I think the Rose Bowl is a good comparison. Look at this room. Holy moly. That is, wow. Okay. I feel like I'm in Doom 2 or something. Anyway, so the Rose Bowl happens once a year, right? And MLG happens in certain cities multiple times a year, but there's still the same type of event. They're a sports event in my mind. And the MLG had more viewers that were more male viewers between the ages of 18 and 24 than the Rose Bowl did. So that right there shows you that gaming has become mainstream. It's going to continue to become mainstream. It's continue to become bigger and bigger and bigger. And maybe someday it will become a national pastime like it has for countries like South Korea. So let's see. I got everything running. I can now buy weapons. I have now ranted for 10 minutes while playing this game. You know, I filmed a lot of footage of doing Let's Plays on Borderlands 2. I'm not sure if anybody's really interested in seeing it, but this particular, I just ranted for a whole period. I may cut this out and put this up on YouTube, and maybe you guys will enjoy it. So let's see here. I've got all kinds of stuff here. All kinds of crazy stuff. I've actually increased my inventory, and I believe that maybe I'll just talk a little bit more about Borderlands 2 while I'm sitting here, but it looks like when you spend your iridium to upgrade your inventory and all the other stuff, you can spend iridium on. It actually is account-wide, so that's pretty cool. The other thing is your badass points are account-wide, so anything that you get when you spend your badass points actually applies to all your characters, so I like that. I like, it almost feels like an MMO to some extent, this game, when you play. Because at any time, you know, a friend could call me up and be like, hey, you want to play a little bit of Borderlands 2? And as long as we're kind of, even if we're not close in level, we can somewhat play together. And that's pretty neat that you can do that. This rack flying after my car. So anyway, let me get, I don't know why it did that crazy thing as I got out of the car. I'm supposed to find this doctor. Maybe I'll find this doctor really quick and then just show you. This is a quest. I have to find this guy with this mysterious weapon. Maybe once I kill him and find him, I don't think it'll be hard. Let's show off some of my sniping skills against these bandits. One shot. Let's do another one. Bam. Bam. See, now I can focus, now that I'm not ranting. Look at that. Okay. Shoot this guy. You know, I'm really not that great at Borderlands 2. I don't know. You probably can tell. But I feel really good when I think someone just suicided on me. So there, I just confirmed that I'm not that great. But regardless, it's still a fun game. And maybe that's part of the reason why I ranted about multiplayer. I don't know if you've seen my multiplayer video yet, but because I'm not that great at this game, and I always feel a little bit less than perfect when I play with other people. So let's see, where is this guy? He must be up here somewhere. Ooh. More loot. What I'd really love to do is find a mod. If somebody could find a mod that made Skyrim have the same kind of cartoony graphics that this game has, that would really be cool. Because I really just kind of dig the cartoony graphics of this. It's almost like a mixture between Team Fortress 2 and Skyrim. And that's a cool combination that I would love to have in a game like Skyrim. An ornery revolver. Okay, we'll just leave that equipped in my second slot. You can see I've unlocked a third gun slot now. I'm kind of coming along in the world. In this pseudo MMO FPS shooter thing that that everybody calls Borderlands 2. So where is this guy? Aha! Something unlocked here. Whoa, okay. Whoa, shooting purple stuff at me. Oh, he's got like a... That was cool. He's got a red cross on the side of his shield. And of course, you know, 3 or 4 well-placed sniper shots. He drops a gun. And I'm good to go. And Dr. Zed is chatting in the background. What is he? Happy that I got this gun. So I'm going to get this gun and I'm going to wrap this up. So I hope you enjoyed my... I don't even know if it's a Let's Play. It's more of a rant about gaming in general and a little bit of Borderlands sprinkled in. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click like and subscribe, and be sure to stick around and watch more of my videos that I keep posting. So thanks for joining me.